What a performance from Chelsea. Absolutely scintillating they were this afternoon against Burnley. 3-0 goals in the game. Another one, 2 games in 2 starts for Ziyech. Kurt Zouma, I think with his 3rd goal of the season, with an absolute bullet header. And then man like Timo Werner, assisted, I will add, by Hakim Ziyech. 3-0. Could have been a hell of a lot more. Could have been a hell of a lot more today for Frank Lampard's men, who, of course, started off in a slightly new system, 4-3-3. Kante, in my opinion, playing the best role and position that you can play him in. It was comfortable today for Chelsea. They have dominated large parts. They defended impeccably well. They only conceded 4 shots in the whole game, dominated 65% of the ball. 10 chances created to just 4 of Burnley. An absolutely astoundingly good performance from Chelsea Football Club. And hashtag Frank Lampard in tremendous today. Cannot be denied, cannot be denounced. And, earlier on today, we spoke about watching City win, and they won, but they weren't really convincing. This is another convincing performance from Chelsea again. Since Mendy's been in goal, they're barely conceding. Since Mendy and Thiago Silva have been in the team, and the introduction, of course, of Ben Chilwell, that I thought was astounding today, by the way. Chelsea's team has really fixed up and really sorted itself out in the last 4 games. In the last 4 games, they have not conceded a goal. Yes, they drew 2 of those games 0-0, but today they had their shooting boots on. But defensively, Chelsea is starting to look solid. And the word I would use is balanced. Chelsea are now starting to get balanced. They are starting to click into gear. And that's where rival fans, all banter aside, are going to have to be concerned and going to have to be worried. Chelsea are starting to click. They're starting to find form. And not very many other Premier League teams are doing that. If you actually look at it, they beat Crystal Palace 4-0. I want to say that was Mendy's first game, unless my knowledge is off. The only poor game they've had, really, since Mendy and Chilwell and Thiago Silva have started playing, was the Southampton game, but they had biscuit fingers in goal. And it explains a lot. Yes, they didn't open up much against Man United, but we know how potent we are right now. And not winning one particular game, it isn't the be-all and end-all over the course of a 50-game season. But Chelsea is starting to look scary. Chelsea are really starting to shape up. We want your views and opinions. We're taking calls via Skype. So search Football Terrace on Skype. Get that done right now. Before you do that, though, smash the like button, people. Hit that damn like button now, people. That's the first thing that you have to do. And then go into our description below and sign up to our mailing list. Over 1,000 people have signed up to that in the last 4 days, I actually think. It's been amazing. Up to nearly 3,000 people that have signed up to our newsletter and mailing list. Get that done right now. First caller of the afternoon, we've got Ches on the line. Ches is, of course, a Chelsea fan. Bro, you're on mute, so unmute yourself for me, please, Ches. And then tell me, how good were Lampard and Chelsea today, brother?
What a good performance. What a fantastic performance today, actually. Lampard got it spot on. And we spoke about this a few weeks ago when I think we drew to West Brom. It could have been Southampton. And then we were talking about the defence, and Lampard's got to fix his defence. And I told you, when Mendy, Silva, Chilwell, James and Zuma played together, you will see instant change. In 4 games now, 4 clean sheets. Our team's gelled together much quicker than everybody thought it would. And I think we found the formation we should use from now on. I don't think you should change it back to 4-2-3-1. And all the Chelsea fans know, all the real ones know, Lampard at the beginning was dealt with bad resources. We didn't have a good team last season. It was average. Hazard carried us the year before that. And then not only that, he didn't have the players he wanted to have to boot his style. And now we've got the players. I'm not overreacting either, because we've seen a massive change in results and performances. Many beats and a lot of goals scored.
Excellent today. And you are now starting to gel. And look, we're going to November next week. So this is when you expect a team to now start coming together and finding their feet. And I think having Mendy in the team, you go back to last week against Manchester United as an example. If Kepa's in goal,
that goes in.
At least 2 or 3 of those shots from United that were good attempts on goal by Mata, by Rashford, one of them at least is going to beat Kepa. We know that based on statistics. He only saves about 20% of the shots at him. So if you have 5 shots in a game, you're likely to score one of them if they're decent. It's there. We've added Gem to the line. Gem, you've kind of backed Lampard this whole time. You've been one of the few Chelsea fans on the channel that hasn't really gone at Lampard. It seems like he's starting to get it right now, bruv.
He got it right today, Terry. And, you know, you got to take your hats off to him. You know, the formation for me made us look balanced from Mendy down to Tammy Abraham. We look more of an organised outfit defensively. You know, what's that? The 4th clean sheet now. You know, that's saying something, isn't it? And I just think this season it's going to fall down to who can be the most consistent throughout the league. Like who can keep the most clean sheets? Who can gain the most points? And we're going in the right direction.
Absolutely. Neek's here with a comment says Mount starts, Chelsea win, no coincidence. Do you know what I did like about today, though? I liked how Mount started on the... You know, a lot of Chelsea fans were blaming, like, poor results on Mount starting in wide positions. Now, I'm not saying that's his most potent position that he plays in, but I saw him go out wide today. I saw him go central today at times. What I liked about the system in a 4-3-3 rather than a 4-2-3-1 is there seemed to be more fluidity about it, if that makes sense. And he looked very, very good today.
Yeah. Did you see today's game? You know what's mad? Like, even generally, you could lose a rival. Who was man of the match? That's how good we were. Like, everyone played good. I can't think of one player.
Awesome today. Hakim Ziyech for me. The guy.
I think he probably deserves man of the match because goal juice. But Kante midfield sitting. I mean, Jem said the other day when he called up, and perfect.
I agree. I would give it to Ziyech today myself. I thought it was excellent. But what I liked about the way your team played today is you played the 4-4. You played the 4-3-3. You had Mount and you had Kai Havertz. I don't really care about people saying, it's an 8 role, it's a this role. They were playing either side of Kante. What was excellent is both of them have the ability to move into the more advanced. So what can happen if Werner was dragged inside for whatever reason? Mount is competent to go into that wide position with Ben Chilwell backing him up, or vice versa. Kai Havertz can move into 3 or 4 positions, and I said that in the summer with the Chelsea players that you'd purchased, and you've still got Pulisic, who unfortunately got injured, and others to integrate into this as an example. But nearly all of them, barring Tammy Abraham. The rest of your players can play a multitude of positions to a certain... They all have their strongest areas where they're at their potent best. But having players that can play in 2 or 3 roles and be competent, it's the versatility is there for injuries, but also in a game, it gives you great fluidity for those players to move around in their positions to make the 4-3-3 work. And yet the balance today looked absolutely impeccable. We're going to add David to the line now as well. Make sure everyone who's tuning in, you're smashing that like button. We're live tonight after Liverpool versus West Ham as well. So make sure you're tuning in for that. David, give me your thoughts on that performance, mate.
Oh, it was so good. It was so good. Oh my God. They didn't have a shot on target. Our defense, I said last year, I know adding Chilwell and adding Silva has been massive, but just literally having a base goalkeeper, we don't know how good Mendy actually is. We don't actually know right now, but just having a goalkeeper who can do the basics is so key to a defense because it gives them all so much confidence. Ben Chilwell is probably the best fullback in the league right now on form. I'm sorry, I haven't seen any fullback do any he is so good right now.
On Ben Chilwell, let me just say this now: when you guys were linked with Chilwell in the summer, I was excited for you. Of course, I'm going to banter over the price and whatnot. But the reason most people slept on Ben Chilwell is purely because of the nation that gives out his passport. It's purely because he's British and English. People were sleeping on him. The amount of Chelsea fans that phoned this show saying, "What about Terrace? What about Tagliafico? What about X, Y, and Z?" I'm like, Ben Chilwell's as good as those players, give or take. He's in that sort of ballpark. There's no doubt about it. And I have not seen him. Not only has Ben Chilwell been excellent, I haven't seen him put a foot wrong in a Chelsea shirt yet. Not defensively, not positionally, not from the offensive point of view. He's been absolutely brilliant. And as we say, we've been talking about this on this channel for ages. There is so much xenophobia towards English football players. Certain English football players in the Premier League, Ben Chilwell gets it, Harry Kane gets it, Rashford gets it,
Maguire gets
it.
Harry Maguire is just off the chart, and it's sickening. It's absolutely sickening that people do it, and you know where it is when people, you see, just go on Twitter. It's like, I don't really want Ben Chilwell. Why? Just overrated Englishman. It's like, imagine saying that. Imagine taking the word English out and using that as a reason to not want a player from another country. you'd just be shut down. Twitter wouldn't even allow you to tweet that kind of stuff. And I'm glad Ben Chilwell's proving people wrong that he's a top player, no doubt about it.
Definitely, and even Timo Werner, he was played out of position today, and he's slowly getting a little bit of criticism. But today, again, he's on the score sheet, he's making space, he makes the runs.
Yeah.
He had a good game.
And to bounce off Gem's point about our attack, like everyone saw before last season, we could score loads of goals, we were leaking, and even the start of the season when Mendy and Silva were there, we were doing the same. And as soon as we get all our players fit and we've got the right formation, look what happens. Clean sheets and goals. I think we've definitely scored the most goals in the league so far.
Even Bandy.
I believe it's ever since we've had our defence. Give or take James or Aspie, it's four clean sheets.
You're the joint top goal scorers. You're the joint top goal scorers with Tottenham. Tottenham have 16. You have 16, but you've obviously played one extra game, which is very, very good. And you now find yourself fourth. You're on 12 points. You're 1 point off the top, and I was talking about City earlier on today, and I said that although they might still make the top four because of the quality of their squad and manager, they seem to have lost a spark and potency. And I've seen Chelsea now in a fair number of the games they've played in this season look scary. And today you look scary and you look dominant and you looked solid at the back. And rivals, I'm going to quote Monster here, have got to be fearful, because I truly think, and I'm saying this with my chest, Chelsea have a genuine opportunity of winning the Premier League this season, no doubt in my mind.
The funny thing is, that wasn't even us. That wasn't us performing at our best. The amount of times today when there was an attack and you could see someone making a run and the person's just not found him, or the ball was just 2 yards slightly in front or slightly behind. That's still gelling. That's still the gelling coming in.
Chilwell and James, although they were good, their balls in the box James could have had a better game, but he still played good. That's the thing about our team. The other players can have off games, and the rest of the players, I don't think Havertz gets the credit he deserves.
Well, I see a lot of people dig at Havertz. Don't get
Havertz, he controls the midfield where he's like Silva at the back, like David was saying. He's calm and collective. So when he gets the ball, it's a quick touch, pass, and pass moving forward.
Kai Havertz is very, very good today. There's no doubt about it. And what I would say is this is why reviewing, it's always worth looking at your team over a body of games rather than just one individual game. If you guys win the league by 1 point this year, you can look back at the game against Old Trafford and say, thank God we sat 11 men behind the ball in the second half, because Man United probably at that point in the season contextually would have beaten us on the counter-attack, and we might not have got that point and we may not win the league. And that's why sometimes you have to look back and just go, okay, let's take each game as it comes. Let's review that game. But when you're really going to assess Lampard and you're really going to assess this team, let's look how things stand. Because if you win your game next week, okay, going into the next international break, you will be within a win or so of being top of the league within inside the first 8 games. You're going to take that. It doesn't really matter if you're first, second, third, fourth. There's only a point or two in it. No one's really going to care too much. You're where you need to be. Plus, you haven't completely gelled yet. You've still got Pulisic to properly bring in, as an example. You've still got Timo Werner to find these really find these goal-scoring boots in that central position. And Hakim Ziyech. Let's just chat Hakim Ziyech for a minute. Before we talk Hakim Ziyech, smack the like button, ladies and gentlemen, right about now for us. Please join up as a member of the Football Terrace, because we're going to go member chat only in the next couple of minutes on this stream. Before we do that, we've got a few super chats to read out. First one from AJ Valentino. What a name. AJ Valentino. That is serious, bruv. He says, Chelsea fans, relax. Fulham, Sheffield, Burnley equal 3 points. Well, I know I'm going to speak for Chelsea fans here. I know you're saying that, bro. But look how close Burnley were to getting a result against Tottenham. Scraped over the line against Burnley. Chelsea came here and did it. I mean, Burnley could have played for another hour by themselves and they wouldn't have scored. Do you get what I mean? Like, this is how bad Chelsea made Burnley look today. If Burnley entered a beauty contest and were the only people in it, they'd come second. That's how bad they were. Eye Test Merchant here says, I know it's Burnley, but another clean sheet can't be understated. 4 clean sheets in a row, back to back, to his best. Overreacted with the whole Fred thing. I hear what you, sorry, I get what you're saying. You kind of put 2 sentences into, sorry, let me see. I'm going to read that again, because you've missed out. You put 3 or 4 words together and there's no grammar in that. So I know it's only Burnley, but another clean sheet can't be understated. Clean sheets in a row. Kante back to his best people overreacted with the whole Fred thing. Okay, I kind of get what you're saying there. Sorry, I just misread that. One, I'm dyslexic, and two, there was 3 words put together and no commas, so it really threw me off guard there. But on Ziyech, boys, give me your thoughts and opinions on this lad. He's only just broke into the team. He's scoring and he's assisting already.
Hakim did, for me, he makes the game look so easy when he's got the ball at his feet. Like he's got something that the others haven't in terms of he gets the ball and he always knows how to find that ball. Like, do you know what I mean? Like someone makes a run. He's the only player that I've noticed that will try and make that pass. Not all of the times it will pay off, but most of the times he'll always look, you know, to make that pass. And his goal today, I know Pope was a bit of fault at it, but at the end of the day, you know, he had a great game today. That's all I've got to say, mate. Yeah,
Ziyech for me. He just adds a bit of a different element to our attack. He can drop into midfield. He has an eye for a pass. He's smart. Even with the goal, if you remember, he looked at the goalkeeper, and that's the reason why Pope stumbled, because he thought it was going to swing into the far corner. We put it in near post.
Yeah,
he just adds a little bit of a different dimension to our team. He
sold the goalkeeper. You know, he's one of them football players. What I like about Hakim Ziyech, and this is a bit of a, and this is very much an attack here on sort of eye test merchants and ability merchants. Hakim Ziyech has the technique, has the ability, has the potency, has the intelligence, has the athleticism. But he also delivers. He also achieves. He also has output. He has the 2 things you need to be a top-class player. And I think he's going to do it consistently. Anita's joined us on the line now. Anita, give us your thoughts and opinions on Chelsea's outstanding performance today.
Listen, that performance today was what I've been wanting to see for such a long time. Listen, I'm calling everyone out on the Chelsea show. When I said that Kante loan 6 would not be a bad idea with Mount and Havertz alongside him, everyone called me mad. It worked perfectly today. It was beautiful. Lampard's game management was perfect. I think Ziyech, like I said at the beginning of the season, is going to be our most important player going forward. Today, he was just amazing. He was miles ahead of everybody else on the pitch. The best player for Chelsea today on that pitch, and no one can even tell me that that's an overstatement, followed by Chilwell. Both of them have been amazing signings for Chelsea. I think Chilwell has been probably top 2 signings for Chelsea with Mendy. And you're right, everyone cussed him because he's English, and I'm really hoping that he's shutting up all of his critics, because he's just as good as the fullbacks that we wanted in the first place. And let's be real, anyone would have been better than Alonso in this match anyway. But
he's not as good. He's better.
Sorry. He's better than all of the other fullbacks that we wanted. I think even Tammy Abraham had a good game today. Werner, he was all right today as well. Mount had a superb game. I'm really proud of everyone, honestly. And I think Thiago Silva, he went a bit unnoticed today, but he was genuinely one of the better of the 2 with him and Zuma, in my opinion. Also, he was just amazing. Like, I'm really happy and excited.
Do you know what you'll see as well with Mount and Tammy? When you put better quality players around them, so when you add in Ziyech's and Werner's and Kai Havertz, it will elevate their levels. You know, because they're passing to better, they're receiving better balls from people. So overall, you improve. And I said it at the top of this stream, and I stand by it. Rivals have to respect Chelsea, but also be fearful, because Chelsea are not here to try and come fourth. Chelsea are trying to win the Premier League, and they have the players to do it. Whether or not Lampard's good enough to get you over the line this season is another question, but you're going to take points off big teams, and you are going to be there or thereabouts in this very obscure season with no fans as well. I think that, you know, Liverpool, in my opinion, have looked nowhere near a good collective unit at this point. City, the spark has absolutely gone, because the 2 best teams are not firing yet. As you guys are finding form, you're more than in this race. You really, really are. There's no doubt in my mind. We've got a few super chats to do here. The first one from Paul Ross says, just look at the goal against us last year when we faced Ajax, talking about Hakim Ziyech. Absolutely. Daniel Sweetman says, Hakim Ziyech is fire, my man of the match. Thank you to Ian White for becoming an Academy member. And thank you to Jello for upgrading his membership to squad level as well. Members that are tuning in, of course, it's member and super chats only for the final 50 minutes of the stream. Get your questions in now for the panel. We've got Anita, we've got David, we've got Ches, and we've got man like Jem. Obviously, Jem's actually dropped out now. So we've got Ches, David, and Anita on the line. So get some of your questions in here. John D. Smith here says, attractive winning football. Don't chat to me about Mikel Southgate.
Oh my day.
But do you know what I like about that? Do you know what I like about Lampard's style? And I think he's doing it more this season. And I know it annoyed some people last week, but what he didn't do enough last year was mix it up. When he was up against a team who were potent on the counter-attack last year, like Man United, he just kept on attacking and then ended up getting caught on the chin. Last year, last weekend against Man United, he hedged his bets in the second half and shut up shop and kept the point as an example. And sometimes those like points in those games, if you get an extra sort of 12 to 15 points a year through changing your tactics and approach at the right times, that's the difference between 5th and 4th or 2nd and 1st sometimes. And I think that we always want to go for the W, always be attacking, always be free flowing, but it's not always sensible to do that, is it, Anita?
No, it's not always sensible, but I feel like today his game management was perfect. Bringing on Jorginho when he needed, taking off Ziyech when he needed. And obviously, it does get frustrating when he's always chopping and changing a team. But I feel like when we played against Krasnodar and you saw the 4-3-3 actually worked and then he implemented it in this game, that was pure brilliance from him. And I can only commend him in it because I've given him a hard time because he keeps chopping and changing the team. I can guarantee probably next week the team might change.
And the thing is, I think people are being a bit too harsh on Lampard. Like, you see Terry online with the scrutiny on Lampard's name. I get it because like he's a new manager, he's an English manager, Chelsea legend, nostalgia thing. But he came fourth with a team that should be getting fourth without Hazard. He's then brought our players in and improved us with the players he's bought. So why are people complaining? Like, what more do they want him to do?
I think it was just a consistency thing. Like, people just wanted to see consistency and players being played in their right position. I think that was more the issue rather than, what is this guy doing kind of thing. It was more of a let's see some consistency. Who's the best 11? Why do we know our players' best positions and you don't type thing? I think that's where the anger came from with Chelsea fans. But I think he shut them up because today, even though Werner wasn't playing striker, Werner looked great. He looks really good today. So,
Yeah, I hope he keeps.
Today you heard less. Today you heard less of people complaining about Mount because he was in this position.
Yeah.
No one actually has a problem with Mason Mount. No one does. Well, very few people do. We don't want him playing in the wing position, but we've got players who are clearly better than him in that position, which I think is fair enough criticism.
Yeah,
that's why.
I agree.
Because Pulisic was out.
No, but Hudson-Odoi was there, and this is the thing.
Just be real though, he hasn't been playing well recently.
Yeah, he
when
has.
He's played.
No, I'm not having this. No.
Chez, it's a bit hard to say that and come to that conclusion when he hasn't been given the minutes.
Exactly.
But Anita, it's not even that. In the minutes he's been playing, he's been getting goals and assists.
He's getting good. He's been good.
I think Hudson-Odoi has actually been unlucky not to start a few more games with the form that he's been in. As a neutral kind of watching. We've got some super chats to go through here. First one is from Ayo, who says, what really impressed me today was that we traveled to Russia and played on Wednesday and had a long trip back to England and showed the energy and sharpness we showed today. Beautiful. I think that's a great point. And on top of that point, that's where the size of your squad and the potency and quality is important because you have that ability to be able to rotate, no doubt about it. We've got a couple of super chats and a question from Neeks. Monster here says, another against bottom teams, best way to play. How about the top 6 teams? What change should be made to beat them? What do you guys make of that? Like, do you think you should play differently against the top sides or keep it pretty much the same as you saw today, 4-3-3?
I genuinely don't think we should play this differently against top sides. If we played differently against top sides, I wouldn't be mad at it. But I say we keep with this kind of formation, keep the attacking football going, and I think our defense and our goalkeeper are strong enough to withhold like whatever comes our way at the minute. In my opinion, I'm not sure about you, Ches.
Oh, I think that's a very good question. I think that against, let's say, a more expansive team like, let's say, Arsenal, Tottenham, whatever, Man United, whatever. Playing like this, we'll get a little bit exposed in midfield. Only because Mountain have a good pressing and stuff, but defensively minded. Kante can't do it by himself against like Bruno's and the Kanes and the Sons and all this.
I feel like Kante's all right in front of a solid back five behind him. Like I feel like Kante can do all right.
The thing is, Lampard, I know he's like, you'll probably revert back to the 5 at the back thing. That's your
I'm sorry. When I said 5 at the back, I was including Mendy. I meant 4 at the back and the goalkeeper.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Nah,
no,
confident.
I hear you on that. I hear you on that.
I think we should try against big teams and just see,
Yeah.
like, why not? Do you know what I mean? We've got good form, chemistry, synergy's working. So if you have that confidence and we're good form, then try it.
There's a super chat from Khalid here that says, if Mikel Arteta was the Chelsea manager, Chelsea would win the Prem.
Chelsea would still be defending, fam. Get the hell out of here.
Paul Ross here with the super chat says, is the Eden Hazard return just BS news made by the media? I'm not so sure. Would he fit in Chelsea now, though? To be honest, I'm a little confused by it. I would say it's very unlikely that he's going to return to Chelsea. And you are right about one thing. You know, imagine this season, Chelsea build a team that does win the league or is on its way to winning a league. Throwing in an Eden Hazard could undo that. You don't know. Like, it could do. I don't think it's true news, though. I think you'll get a little year
that's a lot of gas.
at Real Madrid. A guy called Something says Havertz may look lazy on the pitch, but watching him, he actually works pretty hard. Always seems to track back and put in a tackle. I haven't viewed Kai Havertz once and thought lazy.
Same. That's weird.
Yeah, I don't know where that comment's come from. There's a comment here from Neeks who says, question, is Pulisic's injury record worrying?
Can I say something about Chelsea fans like hounding me? I wasn't a huge fan of Pulisic because of this. I think that with Pulisic, it's such a liability because he's a great player, and when he does play and when he's in form, like we've seen what he can do. However, it took a whole lockdown for us to unlock his full potential because he kept getting injured. It's a huge worry for me, and in my opinion, I think next summer we will be going for another winger if Pulisic continues getting injured. Like, he was on the sheet this morning and This afternoon, and he got a knock during training. Come on, man! Like, pre-match training? Really?
Yeah.
I agree with you.
It's
a bounce off. I think that. Go on.
No, go on, Ches.
I think that his injury record is a sly red flag, purely because you don't make match fitness and then get injured during training for no reason. That's a body issue. That's a long-term issue.
You know what it is as well,
which we're seeing right now.
But it's also why I don't look at ability as the only way to measure somebody. Somebody's fitness record is also part and parcel of it. I don't care. You could be the technically best football player in the world, the best finisher, the best everything. But if you're injured for 3 months a season, I wouldn't buy you, because that 3 months could be the difference between us winning a Premier League title and us coming second or coming fourth and coming fifth. And I think that's Pulisic's problem. As a footballer, he's got all the technical ability in the world, but the man's body is fragile. It's glass. He's made of glass. He's Mr. Glass from the film Unbreakable. You know, Samuel Jackson's character. That's him. He's Mr. Glass. And I think that's the biggest issue that he's going to have, that he can't stay fit. And I think Chelsea will be aware of that. But it's how you get rid of him and get somebody to want to buy him, because that would be the concern, isn't it? Like, well, we're going to drop big money on Pulisic, but the guy can't stay fit. So it's just getting that balance right and seeing what happens. Because he also gets injured. He won't progress anyway. You can't become a better football player if you keep getting injured. Yes, go on.
Terry, Sancho 2021. Remember, you heard it here first. You heard it here
That would be so... I mean, it'd be a great summer for me. Hopefully, it's a long, drawn-out one. It gives me a lot of videos to make on YouTube. But,
Terry, if that happens, I'm coming to you in person.
I'm coming.
The meltdown.
Well, I won't meltdown. I will have a meltdown. I will drink 3 bottles of red wine live on the air and then fall off my chair again. That's what will happen on that one. Mashed. Absolutely mashed on that. Neeks here says, Kante against the pressing team might struggle as a single pivot. I think it's maybe you could in that regard.
Let's see it happen.
That's it. Kieran, I can't pronounce that. It's spelled Y Kieran. How do you pronounce the word with the word letter Y first and Kieran after it? I don't know. But I was going to say Y Kieran. CFC says Lampard has found his back 5. I agree. That including the goalkeeper, I think he means. I don't think anybody would disagree with that at all. Grey Wolf Dinner here, long-time member of the Football Terrace, says Kante was amazing. Would be my man of the match. Though you could say that about a number of players today, and that must be the most impressive thing for you as Chelsea fans. That picking your man of the match must be quite difficult today.
That's exactly what I was saying earlier, Terry. Everyone had a good game. Even James, whose crosses weren't 100%, he still had a decent game. And the interchanging of the players and the chemistry that we're starting to see, hopefully we'll see more of, is really, really like good looking for Chelsea looking forward. And we've got a good run coming up. And hopefully we can try and get near maximum points in this run. And that will say a lot about our team if we move forward from last season.
There we go. There we go. Listen, thank you all very much for coming on. Everyone who's tuned in, massive thank you to all of you, all the members, all the new members, and 2 new people sign up. Everyone who's put in a super chat as well. Make sure you go into the description below and sign up to our mail list and our newsletter. The first one will be coming out at some point tomorrow, so make sure you stay tuned in for that. We're going to be back live after Liverpool versus West Ham. It's going to be Liverpool win it. Liverpool, you know what's going to happen? Liverpool are just going to win it easy tonight, and everyone's going, oh, we're back, we're flying. But we're going to be live after for that game as well. I'm now going to be jumping on. What channel am I jumping on to? Curtis, who was on the show last night. I'm going to be on his show previewing Arsenal Man United, so go check that out. I'm going to be live at around about 5:30. But until next time, people, take care of yourselves. Good day, good night, good afternoon, wherever you are around the world, and we'll see you all again very, very soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.